Let's see here. Okay. Wonderful. Good morning. Hope everyone is doing well and enjoyed the last session. And today, or for our second session, we have Katrina Reed and Jarri Goodman joining us. And they are from Outteach, and their presentation is Go Outside, Expectations with Outteach. And just to give a quick background, well, actually, let me introduce myself. My name's Kelly Scott. I'm with
Like you
Apex,
said,
Georgia Museum of
okay.
Agriculture. And and for many of you, those you might have known us as Agorama in Tifton. So we just have a new name, but same place. And so I'm going to be your moderator today. And a couple of housekeeping things. Just it looks like everybody already is on mute, which is great. But if you could keep it on mute. Any questions? Welcome to put them in the chat. I will moderate those as we continue, and we'll make sure, I believe, to have some time at the end to answer all questions. So if we don't get to it right away, that's okay. Don't worry. We will get to those at the end. And this session is recording already, and so that will be available sometime after the symposium as well. So um, our presenters, like I said, Katrina and Jarri. Katrina is the school partnerships manager for Outteach, and her role allows her to bring power of outdoor learning to schools in the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic regions of the organization. She has 13 years of experience educating youth and empowering educators via multiple roles across 3 school districts. Jarri Goodman is also with Outteach, and he's their instructional coach for the Southeast region. Before joining the outreach team, he was actually an elementary science teacher where he was the science chair and he coordinated elementary science fairs as well as implemented a lot of STEM activities. They both have multiple degrees in education and have a lot of experience. So I'm going to go ahead and mute myself, and that way they can get started. Welcome.
Good morning. We are so happy to have you and happy to have you here. And we want to learn a little bit more about you. As Kelly let you know, I am Katrina Reed, the school's partnerships manager in the Southeast region and the Mid Atlantic region. And before I tell you more about us, I want to learn a little more about you. So if you could tell us your name, the school or organization you represent, and what makes you happy in the chat. And I'll give you guys a couple of minutes to do that. I am so happy that, oh, actually, let me play the song for a few seconds longer. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It was so fun reading the chat and what makes you all happy. My dogs actually make me happy too. And so I just want to say that thank you so much for joining us today. We are happy to be able to support you and your organizations and the teachers that you represent during this very interesting time for schools and for our country. And so I am going to tell you a little bit about Outteach, and then I'm going to share with you some information about our online coaching center. And then we're going to get to the really fun part, which is a mini lesson from our instructional coach, Jarri Goodman. And then we'll follow up with questions. And that song makes me happy too. I saw that also in the chat. So here is what we do here at Outteach. Our vision is just to make sure that all students have access to an engaging and hands-on education via outdoor learning and experiential learning. We help teachers think outside the box and literally get students outdoors for outdoor learning. We do a lot, but the core of what we do is to coach teachers to integrate STEM across content using the outdoors for experiential learning. And that's one of our instructional coaches in the Southeast in the green shirt, Luisa Aviles. Actually, in the action of coaching a teacher. We support teachers, but we also support the whole child. Science education can really help build 21st century skills and SEL skills also. Critical thinking, problem solving, information literacy, and collaboration. And we know that once those 21st century skills are embedded in instruction, that increased academic outcomes can be possible and reducing behavior problems can be possible as well. I talked about the core of what we do, which is to help teachers get STEM learning outside, right? We have 16 years of experience in elementary professional development. We have expertise in implementation of the next generation science standards, and we really help teachers create meaningful and authentic cross-curricular lessons and activities, which then empowers them to have engaging instruction in person, during distance learning, or blended learning. We truly believe that early access to science will draw more students into the STEM pipeline. One of the many services that we do, but also the most impactful, is job-embedded instructional coaching. When you think of going outside for actually standards-based learning, that's a mindset change for some educators. So we provide sustained year-long coaching from our Outteach instructional coach in person and in some of our schools now virtually. We empower those teachers throughout our year-long process to actually incorporate real-world lessons. Again, whether it is in person or during this time where we help them balance the screen time with hands-on learning. We help teachers shift toward inquiry-based instruction, 3D lessons, and making sure they embed SEL into science across the curriculum. Our coaching program includes model lessons, which are important for teachers. We show them actually how to get students outside for standards-based learning, planning sessions, observations, and then continuous feedback to support teacher growth. We also offer full day trainings with options for real world options for our trainings include real world lessons during distance learning, anchoring instruction in outdoor phenomena, um, more information on implementing the 5E instructional model, how to integrate literacy into science effectively, and how to integrate SEL into science effectively. We focus on hands-on inquiry-based learning that infuses science through outdoor learning. We also offer Outteach learning communities. We give teachers a chance to network with educators in all of our regions. So teachers will have a chance, or educators will have a chance to collaborate and share and implement new strategies by collaborating with teachers in different cities as well as different states. We also provide summer camps for students. We have direct to student summer instruction. It's virtual and project based, and it includes peer collaboration and independent exploration, and it's hands-on activities designed around design build challenges. It's rooted in elementary. Our instruction in our summer camps are rooted in elementary and science standards to help mitigate the summer learning loss. And this summer, it kind of helped with the COVID slide as well. And again, it balances hands-on with outdoor learning. And finally, we also transform spaces, right? So we help teachers, regardless of what their outdoor space looks like, we help them get kids outside for standards-based experiential learning, but we also transform spaces. And so for schools who would like a full-blown outdoor learning lab that includes learning tools for math, learning tools for science, seating, and shelter, we also provide an opportunity for that by collaborating with corporate and community partners. Recently, our partner schools have decided that outdoor learning is going to be a part of their in-campus strategy. And so we've been building we've been safely building learning labs for our schools. And this is one of our fantabulous learning labs that we use volunteers to help us create. Okay, now to the fun part. So I had to get that part out the way. Now I'm going to show you guys our response to school closures. So we know that when schools closed, right, the doors were closed, but education was still open. And so to align to our vision, we decided to make our online coaching center accessible to everyone. And so our online coaching center provides outdoor learning activities that students can do independently, lesson plans for teachers, teaching tips, as well as modeling videos from our expert instructional coaches. And so now we're going to take a look. As soon as I can get my mouse to get there, we are going to take a look at, that's too soon. That's a preview of our fantabulous coach coming up. Here we go. All right. So this is the landing page for our Outteach coach, our online coaching center. We have so many lessons available for educators and parents to use right now. You can filter our lessons through subject, grade, standards, and I'm going to go ahead and click so we can see a few together. And I'm going to scroll slowly, a little slowly. We have lessons in Spanish as well as English. And our lessons and activities help parents and teachers take students outside for fractions, mythology, story elements, poetry, heat energy lessons. And again, they are broken down by grade level, subject, and state standards also. And I'll definitely provide this link because you guys could use these today and send them to your educator friends today. Also, what I love about our coaching center is we make sure that we share how to get started. Oh, I see you, Karen. You have a question, Karen?
I I was just, were you sharing a screen that showed a list of curriculum?
No. Are you guys?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to make sure.
Oh, no worries, Kelly. Thanks for
Okay, I
letting.
just want to make sure not, you were expecting us to see something and we didn't see it. Sorry.
No worries, no worries. And so we also provide in our online coaching center, we provide how to use the online coaching center. Teachers or educators can create an account, and I'll try to scroll slowly not to give everyone a headache. You can verify that you are an educator, and then you can sync the activities and the lessons with Google Classroom. Our online coaching center is also aligned with Clever and Canvas and schools that use Schoology. You can add students and classes. You can search for content, again, by state standards, by subject, grade level. You can assign our projects or lessons here for students. And then you can manage student assignments. You can track how students are progressing through each lesson or activity. And then finally, we show teachers how to create lessons on their own. I'm going to go back here to our plethora of lessons here and show you up here again where you can search by subject, by grade, or standard. I'm going to go ahead. We are here in Georgia. And these lessons are created by our program team nationwide. And so clicking here in Georgia, you again have the lessons that are specifically tied to Georgia standards. We show teachers how to go outside for outdoor learning, but we make sure the learning is tied to school standards. And I'll click on one of our lessons here about habitats. And so the lesson, again, they're for teachers as well as students, as well as parents. And the instructions are there, the safety that you would need, meaning that, be careful, ask an adult before you go outside. There's a think and observe portion, explore, which is important. A written portion in this lesson, and I just want to scroll down to the end. We also have a portion.
Katrina, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Your screen is not being shared. Or that's what I meant. No one else. We just see the PowerPoint.
Okay. Don't worry. That's what you meant. Okay, don't worry.
I was adding a message in the chat for you all.
Oh,
Yeah, I had asked everybody to see if it was just me or.
and I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Don't worry, don't worry. Let me go back to screen share. Showing all of our wonderful content. Okay, how about now?
There we go. Beautiful.
Okay, so let me go back. Let me go back to the search. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, no worries. Here we go. Okay, now hopefully you remembered everything I said. So you can go back. But no, this is hold on, I'll go back to the landing page. This is our landing page for our online coaching center. And so here, if you scroll down, you'll see the plethora of free lessons that we have. I'm going to go ahead and click there. And now you all can see what I've been talking about this entire time. You can see the lessons that we have. We have lessons in Spanish as well as in English. Keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. We have lessons to teach fractions outside, how to teach poetry outside, any science lesson outside that is aligned to the Georgia curriculum. Now I'll go scrolling some more and some more. And I'm sorry, Jarri, I'm going to go ahead and actually end this because I want to make sure Jarri has his time. But here is where I was mentioning about, it tells you how to get started with the Outteach channel, how you can create an account, assign lessons with Google Classroom and all of those things. Here is the habitat lesson I was mentioning. Here, where it shows information for parents and students, there's a safety portion so students can understand the importance of being safe when going outside. And I'll scroll really quickly here. Here is where I was mentioning where you can actually filter through subject, grade, standard, lesson. I'm going to reset here really quickly. Here is where I filtered through for our Georgia standards. And I'm going to stop here because I am actually not even the best part of this presentation. I showed you all where you can find all of the activities to get students outdoors for STEM integrated lessons across content. And now we will have the wonderful Jarri Goodman, who will actually show you one of our lessons. So let me share my screen. Oh.
All right.
So
Hello,
sorry.
everyone. You're good. So as Katrina is doing such an amazing job and as she's getting the screen ready for us, my name is Jarri Goodman. I'm the instructional coach. I have the opportunity to work one-on-one with the teachers throughout the school year and really just focus on changing instructional practices and helping the teachers align the state standards to outdoor exploration and to outdoor phenomena where students can actually observe, track over time, and really bringing a connection to the standard with outdoor exploration. And so that is my goal here at Outteach. And that's one of the favorite part I love about this position is the relationship building with the teachers and the students. Today, I would like to model a lesson that I will probably use, kind of quick lesson that will probably use with a teacher. And the standard we'll be focusing in on is the life science standard for third grade, students using evidence to construct an explanation why some organisms can live in one habitat and not another. And another thing too is we really focus on that three-dimensional learning, making sure our teachers understand what are the science and engineering practices. And these practices are what scientists and engineers do every day in their careers. And so we want our students to really start getting into the habit of practicing those skills and also connecting those skills with the content. So you might hear me mention some things, some of the SCPs throughout this model lesson. So please, I would love for you all to participate, add your comments into the chat. So let's get started. So the first question, what do all living things need in order to survive in our habitat? So you can please add your comments. I'll be checking the chat out. Would love to see what you all think. And this is always a great way to assess prior knowledge before starting a standard or unit. Oh, you can answer as a kid. How about this? We answer as a kid. I saw that in chat. Should we answer as a teacher or kid? Well, you can answer as a kid. I want you to give them a feel of what they would experience. Okay, food, water, shelter, yes. Air, space. All right. So yeah, so you guys listed some things: food, water, shelter, a place to raise a young. That's the first time I ever seen that one. I like that. Great, 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 great. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. So this was an actual lesson that I did for a school that's one of our partnering school, and this field space is actually by their campus. And so is there anything in the picture that a living thing would need to survive? By looking at this picture, piece in video, okay? Yes, they would be all over the place. So as we started the beginning with that question, just to assess prior knowledge and giving them a space that they actually probably see every day and asking them, what in this space outdoors would a living thing need in order to survive? A place to hide. Yes, I had a student that actually stated that this little area back here, he uses cursor to point to, was stating that an animal can use that as a shelter. Flowers, yes, food. Mm-hmm. Anything else that we see in here? nesting habitat. Wow, yes. So as you can see, even within an open space, letting our students know that, hey, there are things in our outdoor environment that a living organism can use in order to survive. And as I'm using this phenomenon, you can see I will start building on this. I love that question, where's the water? That is a great question to have on the board as asking this question, where's the water? And students starting to assess, can a living organism live in this environment if we don't see water? Because, organisms, we need water to survive. Okay, can we keep moving? 5 minutes. All right. So if you just take a moment, you look out in your outdoor space, look out the window, like what in your environment right now could a living thing use in order to survive? As I'm looking out my window right now, I'm I'm thinking a tree, a tree right now. That is something that a living thing can have in order to need in order to survive. A tree, tons of leaves, yes. Y'all, we pressing with time, so I'm just gonna kind of, yes, I see the trees nesting. And so as we're seeing right now, we're now able to take evidence to support this claim that we're making, and the evidence that we're pulling from is evidence that we see, evidence that's in our environment. This gives students the autonomy to be creative, to actually pull evidence from things that they see, not within a book, but from their direct observation. All right, let's keep moving. And so I would actually have the students kind of create this T-chart. What do you notice and what do you wonder? And so I will present another phenomenon. We started with just the open field space just to see what their prior knowledge is, to see where there's some gap in knowledge when it comes to living organism and what living organism need. And I will show the next picture, because the next picture will lead us into our argument. It's a bear in this habitat. So as you look at this picture, student will be able to have the opportunity to jot down, what do you notice? I have had students say, I noticed that the bear is in the water. Why in the water, Mr. Goodman? I had another student yesterday ask me, well, if the tree is down, is it considered still living? Could the bear use that tree? All of these probing questions and wonders, and it just amazes me sometimes that the things that our students already have knowledge on that we would have never known unless we present different pictures or outdoor phenomena to gauge, their prior knowledge skill. What have they already had the experience of knowing when it comes to certain topics? So students will do a notice and wonder here. And as we continue to keep progressing, the students will have time to reflect. What does this animal need to survive? Students might have students that stated, hey, the bear is in the water. Fish lives in the water. The bear can use the fish to eat. Does this animal rely on anything to survive? What about plants? What about any non-living things? Really getting the students to think about the habitat, the ecosystem, the really big picture. So as we progress, the student will construct an argument. Hey, can a bear live in our habitat? So as we got the 2 minutes, I want you all to just put in the chat, yes or no, can a bear live in your habitat? And as we see if a bear can live in our habitat, once again, that's a science engineering practice, constructing arguments and explanation. Students being able to say yes or no, or then also being able to go outdoors and provide evidence to support their argument. And seeing this lesson in practice is just beyond amazing, because students stand on one side, they may say yes, stand on one side, may say no. And as the lesson progresses through, some student opinions change, and teaching students, young scientists, that it is definitely okay to stand one way. And as you hear evidence, and as evidence continues to keep building, it's okay to kind of jump side because this side has provided more evidence to change your thinking. So this is one of the lessons that we use to really drive critical thinking and also to implement science engineering practices within our standards to connect and marry the two. So that was a quick lesson for you all. I see the no, I see the yes. So once again, definitely engaging in arguments and really using evidence outdoors to support. And this also can be crossed with ELA, with supporting evidence and arguments. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so sorry, Jarri. And next time, Jarri will go first because he is the most exciting portion. I put, though, a lesson inside of, I put in the chat the link to where you can find an adaptation of the lesson Jarri just provided, which actually also brings the outdoors indoors and the plethora of those other lessons that I did not show you earlier, but I showed you afterwards. So that link is in the chat also.
Well, thank you so much, Katrina and Jarri. We appreciate you guys had a wonderful presentation. Even with a little technical mishap, it was still very engaging and wonderful. So thank you so much again, everybody. A reminder to check out that website and what they have to offer. And don't forget that there is an evaluation form as well at the end of the symposium. So please, afterwards, take the time to fill that out. Thank you everyone again for attending. And I think we have about 4-ish minutes until the next session. So goodbye. Thank you again, everybody. And we'll see you in
Bye.
a few minutes.
Thanks, Kelly.
Thanks, guys. Have a good rest of the day.
Bye.